Welcome back to Antics, School Edition. I'm here with Isidra Trejo once again.
What's good?
Word. Also, Riley Mendoza is here to add in on our discussion.
To chime in.
Yep.
Wait, give us a drum roll. Antics time. That's going to be my intro music for the rest of life.
For sure.
Okay, so, Isidra.
Cameron.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh my god. What a guy, right?
But what I'm convinced that motherfucker's an alien. I mean, sorry, okay. I'm going to try my best not to swear.
Okay,
so
me too.
just watch for it. I'm convinced that man, in quotation mark, is an alien. I don't think that it's possible for a human being to convey the emotions that he did in the Joker without being some sort of robot.
I mean, isn't that like what method acting is though? Like submerging yourself so...
No, that's just like the way he laughed when he was in those fits, when he couldn't stop laughing. Mm-hmm. It felt just like he really had a sickness.
Yeah, well, he did all his research beforehand and like watched videos of people with that actual.
That's a real.
It's a real disease or mental illness condition. That's the better term. I apologize, but there are like videos of people that they post on YouTube of themselves like during a fit that you can go ahead and watch. So I think he did like. Wow. As an actor, I think he did like a phenomenal job of doing his research beforehand and preparing himself for the role. Even with like the weight loss too.
Oh my god.
Jesus, man looked like a
first
fucking
time
ghost.
I saw him with his shirt off, oh my god, it was like why do you think he did that? Like he could have been, he didn't have to be that skinny, do you think? I completely think it like shock factor was a big thing, and I think that's what he was going for. But the physical just damage that he did to his body was like,
I think it just like did a really good job of highlighting how unfit he was, and just how he just looked so gaunt. I think is the word in my head. He just looked terrible. Terrible
or terrifying? Oh, were you ever scared?
Mix of both.
Can you stop? This makes it for like ear destruction. For
wait. I think the only part I was truly terrified was in the kitchen when his two old coworkers came, and he's like, his hands are outstretched, right? I think it was after or before he was about to kill that one dude, and he looks up and his face is just white.
Oh my god!
And you can't see like his eyes; you can just see like the outline and just the green hair hanging. That fucking scared me.
I agree with you. There were no moments where they were wasted, where acting was wasted. Mm-hmm. Every single scene I felt had a purpose. Like, yo, Emron, can you turn it down a little bit? Emron, can you turn it down a little bit? Can you turn it down a little bit? Thank you. Just like the freaking like. How do you feel about the beginning? Like the setup to the movie?
I mean, when we sat down, at first I was already hesitant, like to watch it a little bit. And I think as soon as the movie started, well, because I had just heard on like Twitter that it was very triggering for people with like depression and anxiety.
I see.
So, and then it was just kind of like a last minute thing, right, to go see it. Because we were at IHOP and we were like, you guys want to go see the Joker? And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? And then also just hearing things about like how people were scared that someone's gonna like shoot up the theater.
Yeah, that was a little
nerve-wracking,
especially on Halloween.
Mm-hmm. So I was already kind of like anxious.
On edge.
And then as soon as the movie started, though, I just kind of lost myself in it.
Me too.
And I didn't.
thought it was really a masterpiece.
How did you feel about the beginning, Riley?
It's kind of hard. You were talking about like.
You gotta leave this door open, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
You talked about how like. Gross. you talked about how like there's no way that this like man is like sane to be doing this, like you said that earlier. But I think it's just like kind of hard to fathom that someone can be so skilled at something like that.
He's like
it's not necessarily the aspect of he's out of touch of like reality and like his sanity. I think it's more that he's just very talented and very at another level than a lot of method actors are.
I have to agree with you on that. I think because like you said, he has to be kind of like insane. Is that what you said? On the contrary, I think it shows a lot of self-control and like to be able to have to like switch that on and off. You know what I mean?
He's had a bunch of screwed up roles.
Exactly.
He's Rumpelstiltskin in Once Upon a Time.
I didn't see that. Did you watch that?
I watched all of it. I watched it until like the last few like seasons because it got stupid. But like his role was just he oh god, I forget the story. Oh, he sells his daughter's body in order to gather materials for him to spin his gold. And he sells his daughter and his mother's body, or his daughter and the mother of his child's bodies.
And then let's talk about her.
Okay.
So Joaquin Phoenix plays this man who writes. So he writes other people's letters.
Yeah.
So he writes like
anniversary letters or.
He writes them.
Yeah.
They don't. But he knows them. These people. Like, and he's written these people's letters for like his whole life.
Yeah.
So, how do you, like? Do you think he talks to these people like to get to know them?
Well, I thought that like the way it worked is he saw like the photo.
Yeah.
And he was able to pick up small things and like incorporate them. And I don't remember if he got like any background info though. I just remember that
seems
like
strange to me.
Yeah, like he must have, right? In order to be able to write about it.
I think he did.
Yeah, because like if that's his job, I'm assuming that he gets information.
Okay, so I thought ScarJo was like the perfect voice for that. Like, and when I asked you about Ex Machina yesterday, the idea of falling in love with a computer is very interesting to me, and I feel like Ex Machina touched on a darker side. When I first started watching the movie, and like he was like, "You're a computer." Like where Ex Machina, where she was like she was uncomfortable by that fact. ScarJo or Samantha really embraced that and like was like happy about that and like was like so enthralled by like this idea of life. And then but then you could see the dark her apprehension when she's like, I wish I had a body, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that like really, that idea of falling in love with an AI.
Keep this door propped open.
Is it okay if we just keep it like propped open like that?
Well, we want it all the way so that it's easier to see in here.
Okay.
Did you guys see Lucy? The other Scarlett Johansson movie? Oh my god.
Lucy was so mind-boggling.
Holy shit. Or because it was have you seen it?
The idea is is where she unlocks 100% of her brain.
She inhales a drug and unlocks 100% of her cerebral cortex. We only use like 0.7% of our cerebral cortex.
Why is that? Like, what the hell?
Because then because you have to watch the movie. Because then she like her body like.
At the end, she just fully
transcends into like a part of the earth, like she like her body like dissipates.
Becomes everything.
It's like insane.
Have you guys watched Transcendence with Johnny Depp?
Yes. Oh my god, bro, these movies.
So with Joaquin Phoenix in that role, in her, how do you? Like, I just felt sorry. I felt so. It was such a depressing script.
But do you see what I mean, though, when there's, like, no words to describe how it would make you feel? It's just, like, you felt it, though, before.
Like, I think that was the best way of capturing the essence of, like, loss of love. And I think that's what he was going for.
Yeah.
Spike Jonze, how do you say it?
I say Spike Jones. I think that's how it is.
Wow.
What a cool name. Sorry.
What? Yeah, that's a really cool name. So what other movies has he written?
I believe
that you've seen.
That I've seen. I couldn't tell you, to be quite honest with you. I just know that that's like his one big movie.
His one big movie.
Yeah.
That movie was great.
I know more Sofia Coppola movies, and I feel terrible
That's his ex-wife?
because I know Spike Jonze is a talented filmmaker because he directed the music video for Anderson .Paak.
Which one?
Till It's Gone.
Oh, cool.
And that one was fucky, but I
love
honestly
me a
can
good
tell his
music video.
filmography.
He did Gladiator 2 with Russell Crowe.
Oh, interesting.
The one with Hugh Jackman?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, that's what I meant. They're
That
like the
movie
same
was
person
weird.
to me.
He did a movie with Nicolas
Sometimes
Cage.
actors just... Nicolas Cage. Have
He's
you guys
a
seen the
hell
movie
of
where
a
he talks
movie.
about the bees? Have you seen that one?
No.
I have not.
What?
I know the meme. He's like, not the bees! The bees! He gets attacked by killer bees. Like they torture him with like a mask
Nicolas
of bees.
Cage?
Yeah.
Of course.
And he's like, the bees!
I'm not
He said, of
surprised.
course.
Oh my
But-
god.
Oh, I forgot that he did Signs too. Have you seen that
Hey
movie?
guys, sorry about that. Through the librarians, I didn't have a chance to tell them that you were doing that, so
I
I
see.
told them it was my bad. So it's not your fault. They know it now, so it's all good. Did you guys get it recorded or anything? Or
You're not a part of it.
okay.
Have you
She said
seen
sounds great.
his movie
No
Signs?
respect.
No, I'm not.
The alien crop circles and stuff. Oh my god.
Signs?
Signs.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie Three Signs.
No.
Or Three Billboards.
No, Signs.
I have a question to ask you, Cameron.
Yeah, what's up?
You said last night you didn't like scary movies,
I hate scary movies.
but you like rom-coms. What is it about rom-coms?
Rom-coms are funny. I like funny. Why would I not want to fall in love with these people? Why would I rather get the shit scared out of me than fall in love with a hilarious couple? You know? Like,
see it.
it's just better.
All movies have romance aspects to it.
That's
not
true.
true.
I think
It's
so.
pretty true.
It's
There's
not
always
true.
like a romance like
There's,
subplot.
like
based.
even in The Handmaid's Tale, like we were talking about how
Oh,
brutal it
even?
is.
That's like the whole thing.
No, I know. No. There's no
Her and
love
Nick?
involved in this, but her and Nick. You said that Nick has to be there. He's that little
He's
like
the
flare
designer.
of like spice.
He's the design. I didn't say spice. I
No,
said
the
he's the
salsa
designer.
on the taco.
Yeah.
Salsa.
Yeah.
Taco.
There's always a little romance involved in everything.
Oh my
I feel that
word.
way about music sometimes too.
Yeah.
Love
There's
is
always like even in the
always a
Joker,
factor.
or in Joker, I forgot her name.
Sophie?
I don't know.
The girl that was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love her. She's a fantastic actor. My dad, what do you guys think about the scene when he stole the records from Arkham?
Oh, that was.
Oh
fun.
my god.
That kind of scared me. I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
Well, because you can see like the look upon the was he an orderly? Like he was a clerk, right?
Yeah.
You can see the look on the clerk's face when he like starts to realize, and he's like, "Would you say your name was?" And like when Arthur's just standing there and he like looks up at him, you
Arthur
can see
Fleck.
like the change like on his face.
And he
then when
grabs
he's
it and he's like,
running- Mhm. And then afterwards, he's like in the stairwell and he's reading it. And then I think that shot they have when he's walking home in the rain,
yeah.
because they had the same exact scene with him
Rain
walking
is
in.
so like.
And it's literally like the same freaking thing with like the One Bad Day and like the Killing Joke when Joker is explaining like what happens. That's literally his one bad day in that movie.
Yeah.
In
And when
that
like the
movie-
rain with his mate. Oh my god.
In that
Yeah.
movie, gunshots felt real. Like
Yeah.
in a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
like action
Violence.
movies, like the violence doesn't feel like we feel disassociated from it because we're so numb to it. But I really felt it tapped into a different side of movies
Yeah.
it's not tapped into like ever. It really was like a sense of like horror that
Dude.
I was like.
The violence wasn't sugar-coated at all.
When
my
he
God.
fucking shot that dude on stage, I
Yeah,
was like,
could you
oh.
imagine if that actually happened?
Oh my god.
Like,
Well, now it wouldn't be though, because that's like why
Yeah.
they have like everything's kind of like spaced out. A
yeah.
little bit.
But if that had
But back then-
actually, like, if Dr.
Oh, like
Phil
on
had
live
someone,
TV. Oh
and
my
someone fucking shot him in
Dr.
the
Phil?
shot Dr.
Oh
Phil
my
in the
god,
head,
that'd be
God,
or like
anarchy.
Jimmy Kimmel,
The clowns
like-
rioting in the street would be the appropriate reaction. In my
Probably.
opinion.
That was crazy, dude.
Robert De
violence
Niro
scenes were
was that was such a good
brutal.
homage to Taxi Driver.
Mm,
Oh my god, the fact that he had that role,
that was really
right? Have you seen Taxi Driver?
I have not, but I've seen like video essays about it.
So do you
My
know what it's
mom-
about?
I know the whole like plot.
He's like,
and
I
everything.
hate my city. And he's like, I'm gonna clean it up, but I don't know how, so I'm gonna clean it up through
And then, like,
violence.
kill people, yeah.
And it's like, oh, that sounds familiar. Like, that's essentially what the Joker's plot was.
That's like the ending message when they like lift him up like a messiah.
What was his last line? It was, you wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand the punchline?
Yeah.
Or
you wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it. Oh my god.
And then when he's just running and you see the like red, I didn't realize that
what did
killer until I saw his footprints.
What did you think? Oh wait, he killed what?
He killed the person he was talking to. I don't know if she was like a psychologist.
Oh yeah.
But like with
really?
the footprints. And then he walks one way, and then they start chasing him the other.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I didn't pick that up. I guess I'm just a silly guy. But no.
The conversation that we had after about what that conversation represented, what the doctor represented, and
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah.
I was about to ask how you feel with the script of how it was written, of what statement it was making for how mental illness is treated in our country. Because I feel like that was definitely a theme. So what do you guys think about it?
I think he definitely hit the nail on the head, or at least the dialogue did. Mm-hmm. And I think it was like their last meeting with his last meeting with the psychologist he was seeing through welfare, and how he was like, you just don't listen.
Yeah.
Like, all you do is like prescribe me stuff, and like you don't even notice or like something.
But I felt he was essentially actually contradicting himself. I feel because in earlier a line where he was like, can you give me more meds? And she's like, you're on 7 prescriptions.
Yeah.
Like, there's almost like you become dependent on the pills. But do you become dependent because that's what the doctors are telling you, or because you like the pills? Or is it a little bit of both?
I think it was just him wanting to like take the pain away, because you could visibly see the pain when he was laughing, and he did not want to be laughing. Like, I think that was...
yeah, that was hard.
I think it was...
And, like, when he would struggle to get his card out, he'd be like...
that fucking,
his face, like,
heart,
the laughter, and then his, like, face, just, like, misery, absolute, like, pain.
Yes.
The misery that he showed was where I could not fathom that this was, like, an actor.
It was brutal,
like,
and
it felt
the range
so,
of emotion he had to display.
It
from,
felt so real.
And the reaction from the people of when he had his fits, like, it was very real. Like,
it was very real.
The people's reactions
exactly what would happen in real life today.
Yeah, taking offense to it and like being like, this person is laughing at me, and even when he would give the card, the woman still was like,
she's like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no
really,
understanding of that, because most people don't even care about it. They don't even acknowledge it. It's just a thing they don't even think about.
I think the movie and like the screenplay, I guess, did a really good job of, like, at first making us sympathize with him.
Yeah, oh my god.
Because I felt so, like, fucking bad at first.
Too.
And then when he was like, my mother said, like, when I was a little boy, I was meant to do this. I was like, fuck, dude.
Did you lose all sympathy for him after the mother scene?
I still, like...
You lost a lot. Or did you kind of... Okay, let me see. I felt, to me, you kind of... That moment was him tipping the edge to the dark side. That was him going into the dark side with the line, oh my god, I thought my life was a comedy, but it's really just a freaking tragedy. Oh my god. And then that was right there, his moment of where he snapped. And so I felt that was a visual expression of his path. What I wrote about in my journal was that, did I send you what I wrote about it?
Yeah, you did.
So when I said it wasn't a character evolution, it was his character descent. Mm-hmm. That was the peak of his
like the
depth of his character descent, where he's just like whoosh, he's rock bottom right here.
Yeah.
And then he started creeping up, but into the darker side. Like he was like light, like I'm a clown, but I'm kind of like getting sadder and sadder and sadder, and then he's hit bottom and he kills him. And then he rose up out of the ashes like to the darker. And that I felt was so you know how like a character can go like this, right? A character arc can go up. His went just deep down. And I felt that was beautifully shown.
That made me remember the scene of him in the hospital when he drops the gun.
Oh my god.
In the hospital. I forgot about that scene.
That was part of the path of
yeah.
going down when he got the gun.
Yeah, that scene too when he was in the bathroom like dancing to the like opera. That gave me like I told him I was like I like started having like
she got anxious.
I got really anxious. I was like I'm watching this and I feel
How'd that make you feel?
Like not uncomfortable, just like
I started feeling uncomfortable with that scene too. Also, just like.
Why do you think that? Oh, sorry, keep going.
Sorry, you're good. When he was watching the show with his mom, and he started to is disassociate the right word?
Yeah, he just wasn't
mentally there.
Yeah, and he had like that smile on his face. Oh
my god.
I was just like
chills, man. Yeah. So many times I got chills.
Yeah. And nobody recognized it either. Like in the locker room, people would like be like, "Oh, buddy," and like he was like had so much going on up in here.
When he was like, I forgot to clock out, and he started punching the thing.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, can you imagine just witnessing that and just still just being like writing it off?
Right.
That's what everyone just kept doing, writing it off.
But that when I feel that's the perfect commentary on society. Like those clowns looking at him, they were clowns looking at this, and they were like, whatever.
He got beat up twice when his sign was stolen, and then on the train. And he
just took
spoiler. Should I?
Whatever. This whole thing is a spoiler.
He shot and killed all three of them. And when the guy was running away, and he shot him while he was like crawling away.
I had such I felt like my heart skipped a beat. Like when he was walking after this guy, he was like, and he like sped walk. He was like.
I know.
Can you imagine like that happening on Bart?
I know.
Like
it does happen on Bart.
And the angle that it was shot at too, where it was the full thing, like him trying to get to the stairs, and like Joaquin Phoenix just like fast walking while this guy was like crawling to get away from. Oh my god!
You could see no hesitation. That was what got me.
You saw it afterwards.
The lack of hesitation.
Afterwards, it happened. That's when it kind of like his facial expressions were insane. How he was able to go from one thing to another.
After he killed him, he started feeling like I don't know if confidence is the right word. But he started like, do you know what I mean?
It was definitely a visible shift in his character when he first did that first murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of his descent, in my opinion. When he got the gun. Like, okay, the beginning was when he got the gun and he realized that this was an outlet. This was an option. And then when he had it with him, I felt that him carrying on to that idea of like revolution was a very big factor in that downward trend, and then the murder was a very big like. So you know how so it was going like this. It was going like this. My hand's like this, and then that was, and then the mom scene was like
all the way
down.
Like at first, it's like started seeming like things were gonna be okay when he killed those dudes.
Yeah.
Because he seemed like it was like deceptively fine, and then he had one man. Man's just fucking broke. He just let go. And when he walked into her apartment, and like we realized that like all of his dates with her, whatever, and her being there was just like in his head, and like the look of terror on her face.
Oh my god! Like, she acted that scene so well.
She really did.
So well. Did you when you were watching it and seeing him like in those scenes talking to her? Did you think it was real?
After seeing the TV show, I didn't know whether or not it would be real. But I kind of thought it was real.
The TV show when he was talking and he got picked, I knew that was a dream.
That was a dream.
When I was watching that was definitely like a vision, and like it was his like aspiration. It showed like his, and then when De Niro started like bullying him essentially on the TV, that was like.
Because he had that image of him.
Because he didn't. Like I think he still saw good in De Niro. And he still saw like the ability to like get these people on his side through his comedy. But then when he realized, I feel it was a big sense of realization when he went on the show and he just kept hearing them laugh at him and the talk that he had with De Niro before. That was a very big moment. I felt I
think he had his realization like earlier, like maybe when he realized that everything that like Thomas Wayne was saying was like kind of true.
Oh yeah, in the bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom, and then just like I just feel like he kind of lost. I don't know if hope's the right word. Just his faith.
I don't think he ever had hope.
You don't think so?
I think from the beginning, I don't think he ever had hope.
I think he did when the chick from Atlanta. Like, I think I could see he was like.
That's when his wheels started working.
Yeah,
like, on
and
her.
then like it just like.
But I think that wasn't real. So
it
we know
wasn't
that
real.
wasn't
He
real.
thought it was real.
But he thought it was real.
Wasn't.
But I think subconsciously he knew it wasn't real.
But it kind of does do with the hope thing. He was hoping that it would be real.
So was their first interaction like in the elevator? Was that that was real, right? That was like.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
It never explicitly told us. I think it might. I think that was real, and then everything, things that it showed us that weren't real,
Yeah.
and that was just him imagining he was in
the
this.
elevator encounter. I think is what caused.
I think he was like, oh my god.
Yeah. The stairs too. How he goes from just walking up all like head held low and then to dancing down them.
Oh my god.
And they did Bruce. Why am I forgetting his last name? Bruce Bruce Wayne. They did his parents' murder perfectly to the T.
Yeah.
In the comics.
That was good. That was a good ending, I think.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. Do you think it was the ending he deserved?
the ending he
The
deserved.
ending he deserved? The ending he wanted?
I think
Standing
it does
on the
leave
fiery landscape after being arrested?
Yes, I think it does. I think it was a good ending. I think it was a solid ending. And then with him being in the hospital, was it afterwards? Like, is that hospital setting afterwards? I remember the director saying that he wanted to leave it ambiguous as to whether or not this is the Joker that the Batman, you know, like his arch enemy, whatever, or whether it's like the Joker's inspiration.
Yeah.
So I think that it did a very good job of leaving it ambiguous.
Because if they said it was in the 70s, right? In actual comics, Batman and Joker are 14 years apart. And as you can tell from the scene at the gate, Joker was obviously more than 14 years older than these two. So I think that's actually a really interesting thing to think about. Because this movie was a standalone movie. You can watch this. This is an origin story of someone. It's the Joker, but it's not the Joker we know.
Yeah.
And it's not any Joker that was written.
I dissociated it from Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Even
from
with having,
like
the Wayne family in there.
What's the other movie that he's in? Suicide Squad. I completely dissociated those two characters.
We don't talk about that.
I completely. I didn't even
right
associate that character. They were completely different.
Jared Leto needs to stick to.
They're completely different characters.
Real
I didn't even
roles.
even Bruce Wayne's even him making an appearance in the movie. It wasn't necessarily necessary.
Bruce Wayne's wasn't necessary, but I think the whole Thomas Wayne. That was totally
That was
I think
Do
that
you
was
think he was justified in killing his mom for lying to him for his whole life?
I don't. Well, she was also mentally ill, right?
Yeah, she was crazy too.
But
or mentally ill. Sorry.
I don't think that he was
I don't know if justified is the right word.
Yeah, that's not the right word.
Do you think
in his mental state?
Do you think in his mind he was justified?
In his mind, he was probably justified.
Otherwise
he wouldn't kill her.
Do you think he felt bad about it afterwards?
I think it just hurt him that this woman who's loved him all his life.
And he's loved and he's cared for it.
Yeah.
I feel he felt she turned her back on him. And he was distraught about it. And he didn't understand, he didn't know how else to take it out rather than just kill her.
Well,
get her out of his life.
His mom meant a lot to him. With, him saying my mom said my purpose is da-da-da-da, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that just completely broke him, that this one person just...
Another step in that descent.
Yeah, I thought it was the ultimate dive into it.
Oh my god. Yes.
When they have the little scene of her in the hospital police room where she's being evaluated, I guess.
Yeah, oh yeah. And he's watching it.
Yeah.
Was that a vision or was that real? Or was it a video that he was watching? I'm not sure I understood that clearly.
I think it was a flashback of what actually happened, and he's just making maybe seeing it in his mind.
I see. Let's wrap it up in 20 seconds. What do we think?
Let's go. Okay.
Before the beep.
I want to see it again.
Joker was amazing. I think her is amazing as well.
Me too. Her's sad. Joker's crazy.